NetsBoy, so let's hear what he has to say. His name is NetsBoy, he thinks the world is all over when the Nets just can't play. What up, Net fans? NetsBoy here, bring your latest and your lots and lots and lots to go over and talk about Brooklyn Nets news. All right, let's go. This is what I think everyone was waiting for. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure a lot of you were kind of like wondering, NetsBoy, when are you going to talk about the free agency? When are you going to talk about all these rumors? Come on, we want to know your opinion. What are you doing? And my answer to all of you who were saying that is thank you for being that interested in my opinion, but also chillax, man. Nothing can happen until July 1st. So I was just like, let me wait a little bit more instead of talking about it now. Let's wait until we hear more instead of getting super excited out of every little rumor that we hear. But anyway, free agency is just a couple days away. Officially, it starts, the first time that a player can actually negotiate with the team is July 1st. Here it is June 27th, though by the time you see the video, it'll probably be June 28th. So I figured this is the time to do the video. That's why I didn't do a video about free agency prior. It's just, everything is speculation. Everything is just hearsay. Yes, there's a lot of excitement going around with the Nets and the possibility of Kyrie and KD and all that fun stuff. But I said, all right, let me just wait closer to free agency. But here it is. This is when I'm going to talk about it. But before we get into free agency, just a little more housekeeping we got to do. We have to quickly pivot and talk about the NBA draft and the two young players that the Nets drafted with the 31st overall pick and the 56th overall pick. So first of all, the Nets traded out of the first round completely. I don't remember exactly what they're going to get, some future other draft picks and so on and so forth, which Sean Marks did strictly because he just wanted to get out of the first round, so he did not have to pay a player first round draft pick money. He saved about $2 million in cap space by doing that, which is a great move by Sean Marks, because we all know it's about free agency. So by doing that, he got out of it. I thought he was going to try to do a draft and stash type of situation with that 27th overall pick. Instead, he just traded it away and said, you know what? Let's just not worry about draft and stash. Let's just trade that pick for future picks later on, and let's see what happens in the second round. But they did get two really solid, in my opinion, especially at 31st overall pick, players in the draft. The first one is Nicholas Claxton out of Georgia, and he was with the 31st overall pick. He's someone, Net fans, I'm telling you right now, he is someone to be excited about. I'm being very, very honest. Now, he was not on my radar. Cam Johnson went way ahead than I thought. He was the guy that I said I wanted the Nets to get. Where did he go, like 11th overall or something like that? And something really, really early. I remember him like, what? There goes my idea about the Nets drafting him in the 27th overall pick. Like, he went like 11th. But anyway, he's who I said in my last NetsBoy that I had was on my radar. But I started doing some research on Nicholas Claxton. I don't know. You could probably go by Nick. And this guy has a lot of potential, and he's a lot to be excited about. And if you haven't yet, I highly recommend you check out some of his highlights. He's a 6'11" power forward center. My personal opinion, his game fits more of the power forward spot than the center spot. They listed him as a center in the draft, but I think his game can fit more of a power forward. But he is just very raw, but has a lot of upside to him. He's when you watch his highlights, he has the ability to put the ball on the floor. He has good ball handling skills for a big man. He has a good touch around the rim. He's extremely athletic. He averaged over 2.5 blocks per game, can block, rebound, push the floor, run up and down the court. Really, really a solid young prospect. And his perimeter game isn't terrible either. He's not a great three-point shooter, but he's a good enough three-point shooter that he's a threat from three, and it's something that I think he could really work and develop. But honestly, he looks like your prototypical face-up four. Like, he has the ability to hit the mid-range jump shot. He can put the ball on the floor. He can post up a little bit, but his game is more of working on the triple threat and using his speed and athleticism to try to get past other bigs. And I think that he's got a lot of upside. I'm very excited to see this guy develop and see what he could become. Right out of the gate, I don't think we're going to expect a lot from Claxton. I think that he might make the roster, but in my personal opinion, he's someone who I would put in the G League for a year and let him really bulk up because he's a skinny guy and his frame is, needs to put on more muscle. But I think in a year or two, when he puts on more muscle and he works on his perimeter game, you're looking at a really solid rotational player. And who knows? I mean, I'm not comparing him. Well, I'm going to compare him to somebody, and I'm not going to say he's going to be as good as this player. But if you watch his highlights and you watch him play, he reminds me a lot of Chris Bosh. Like, he really does. He's a 6'11" lefty shooting face-up 4 with speed and athleticism for his size and good touch and the ability to hit the three. Like, that's what he reminds me of. When I was watching his highlights, I was like, he reminds me of Chris Bosh. Now, I don't think he's going to be as good as Chris Bosh, but his style of game is a lot like a Chris Bosh player, and what a great player to have on your team if you're the Nets. So, great job by Sean Marks drafting him with the 31st overall pick. A lot of upside. Then the other guy the Nets got is Jalen Hand out of UCLA. Now, there's not a lot to know about him other than the fact that he's a scorer combo guard. He's unbelievably fast, can get to the basket almost at will, and that's his strength, is scoring at the basket. Average shooter at best, but if you watch his highlights as well, you can see that he has the potential to knock down the perimeter shot. But he's just more of a, give me the ball, I'm going to run down the court, go coast to coast and score. But once again, a lot of potential. If he can work on a consistent mid-range game and a better, three-point game and a better creator, he could become a very solid rotational player down the stretch. He's another, combo guard, ball-dominant combo guard. The Nets have a bunch of them, but I really don't think Hand is going to be on the active roster to start. I think he's going to be a G League guy for a year or two, and the Nets are just holding on to him because, honestly, he just has a lot of upside as well, a lot of raw talent, and we'll see moving forward with him. But I think both those guys are going to be in the G League to start off the season, but you never know. Remember, they thought Jared Allen was going to start in the G League, and he ended up becoming a huge player for the Nets his rookie year. So you never know what could happen. So that was the NBA draft. I think both those guys could become very solid players for the Nets, and so that's that with the NBA draft. All right, let's go. Let's talk NBA free agency. All right, boom. This is what 95% of everyone is here to talk about or hear me talk about. First, let me just discuss the Kyrie Irving rumors and the KD rumors. Look, I'm completely indifferent about Kyrie Irving. If this was 3 or 4 months ago and I heard the Nets were the front runners to get Kyrie and he wanted to come to the Nets, I would have said, sign me up today for that. D'Angelo, you're great, but Kyrie, let's go. But now, after everything we heard from Boston and everything we've seen from Kyrie, I'm on the fence. And look, I'm not going to get upset if the Nets sign Kyrie and let D'Angelo walk. I'm not. I'm going to say, hey, let's go for it. Why not? Sure, he's definitely a better player than D'Angelo. It's just that he comes with a little bit a little baggage here and there. But, I'm also not going to be upset if I heard that Kyrie decided he wanted to go to the Lakers or something, or, back with LeBron James or sign with the Knicks. Like, I'd be like, all right, I'm okay with that too. Because I know the Nets will just bring back D'Angelo Russell. So, I'm very indifferent. Like, I really don't care that much if the Nets get Kyrie. Like I said, this would have been completely different a couple months ago, but now I'm just kind of like, in some ways it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. Like, I know a lot of Net fans are torn about this, and this is the debate that I'm sure a lot of Net fans are having. What do you do? And the answer to me is, well, I don't know what you do. You want to know what I would do? What I would do is something that I wouldn't get Kyrie, and that's just me. Once again, I'm not going to get upset about it if they do. Like, I'm going to be like, no, what are they doing? I'm going to be like, all right, let's do this, But if I'm Sean Marks, what I would do is I would say, you know what, D'Angelo, we believe in you. You're 23 years old, 24 years old. You're only going to get better. We took a chance on you. It's paying off. Let's, thank you, and let's, bring you back. Let's bring back this team we got. And let's go out there with this cap space. Let's bring in other players. Other big free agents with that cap space. Let's go after other players. Let's get Tobias Harris. Let's get Brook Lopez. I love Brook Lopez. Let's get Julius Randle. These are guys that I want the Nets to get. And I actually have a list of players that I would go after from the Nets. That's what I would do. I would say, you know what, Kyrie, thank you for being interested, but we're going to stick with D'Angelo and we're going to have the loyalty, give him some loyalty, and we're going to develop this young core, and we're going to bring in great young players that can develop the next couple years. That's what I would do. But there's a big other issue or situation over the whole Kyrie thing. That's Kevin Durant. Because if the Nets actually have a shot at Kevin Durant, they have to do it. I know, even with the Achilles injury, I'm like everyone else. Achilles injury, who cares? Let the guy rest for a year, bring him back, his style of game, he's still going to be very effective. And I'll tell you this right now, even a 90% Kevin Durant is 10 times better than almost everyone else. That's still, in my opinion, a top 10 player in the NBA. A 90% Kevin Durant, because everyone knows that with the Achilles injury, players don't always come back, the same amount of level, same level, We all know that. But even so, even at 90%, Kevin Durant is still a top 10 player in the NBA. So if it means getting him, even if he'll be 32 years old or 31, 32 years old, his style of play is going to still be very effective. His ability to shoot over people and score the basketball is still going to be effective until he's 35 probably. So why not? If it means getting KD, let's bring in Kyrie, absolutely. If we can't get KD, if we have D'Angelo instead because they're friends, then yeah, sorry D'Angelo, I don't care. Bring in Kyrie, let's bring in KD. That's something that I want to see. And that is actually a song that I was working on. I'm not going to actually play it. Unless, I don't know. Everyone knows I write songs. I was working on a song. I was like, KD and Kyrie, that's something that I want to see. And something like, boo. But anyway, I was thinking about doing that song, but I'm like, forget it. No one really wants to hear that right now. But if that's the case, yes, bring in Kyrie. But I don't know. Will KD really come? I mean, nobody knows. Now the Nets are the front runners. This is what I'm saying. I don't know. I really don't know. So at the end of the day, I think the Nets are going to get Kyrie Irving. They're going to take a shot at KD. If they don't get KD, they're going to go to Tobias Harris and try to get him and say, you know what, let's just have Kyrie and Tobias Harris and let's build from here. Like I said, that's what I think Sean Marks is going to do. And I'm okay with it. If they get Kyrie Irving and they don't get KD, but they get Tobias Harris and they bring back this team, that's automatically, in my personal opinion, a Eastern Conference championship team. Like competing in the Eastern Conference Finals. I wouldn't say it's a championship team, but just those guys. No KD. Just Kyrie and Tobias Harris and bring back this team that the Nets had. I think that they could easily compete in the East and be, in the Eastern Conference Finals. Of course, a lot has to also see where the other dominoes fall. Like what's going to happen with Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris. Is he going to go to the Nets or he's going to go away? What's going to happen? Obviously with Kawhi. So who knows? But I will say this: there is a possibility that if Kawhi Leonard leaves and goes to the Clippers, like everyone thinks he will, though the Nets are going to have a meeting with him too. I will say this: under the circumstances, I would take Kawhi over Kevin Durant, and not a lot of people would, but I would. If I had to choose, if Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant both came to the Nets and said, we both want to sign here with you, and I can only pick one, which, by the way, you could theoretically have both. You could be like, hey, D'Angelo and Kyrie, go away. We got that Spencer Dinwiddie can be our starting point guard, and we'll go from there. And let's bring in, Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard. But I don't really think that's going to happen. But if I could only pick one of the two, I would go Kawhi Leonard. I feel like he might not be, in some ways he's better than KD, in some ways he's not. But the biggest way he's better is A, he's relatively healthy, doesn't have a torn Achilles, and B, or two, he's younger by like 4 years, 3 or 4 years. So you have more of a chance to build and win. So I would take Kawhi over KD if Kawhi really wants to come to the Nets, but most likely he's either going to go back to Toronto or go to the Clippers. But anyway, like I was saying, if Kawhi does go to Los Angeles, right, and let's say Tobias Harris does come to the Nets, even if the 76ers bring back Jimmy Butler, you look at the Nets, they're a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference. Easily. Because the Raptors were going to struggle. They're not going to be nearly as good. We already know the Celtics probably won't be nearly as good, even though they've become the front runners now for Kemba Walker, which would be a huge help. But if they really lose Al Horford, like he opted out, like, I mean, they're going to still be good, but they won't be as good. And the 76ers should still be good, even if they bring back Jimmy Butler. But if they lose Tobias Harris, they'll be good, but not as good. And, it's really just going to be the Bucks. The Bucks are going to be the golden boys of the Eastern Conference. And then after that, the Nets could easily be the second or third best team in the Eastern Conference with a Kyrie Irving and Tobias Harris lineup. So it's very exciting to see what happens here. But I do have a few other free agents that I'm going to talk about now for the next couple minutes that I would go after if I'm the Nets, regardless of KD and Kyrie situation. Some of the guys I feel like they would only be able to get if they didn't get KD as well. So this is if they don't get KD, or because I don't know how the contracts are exactly going to work. Some of the guys they could get in addition to Kyrie and KD, and some of these guys they could get instead of them. And these are either way players I feel like the Nets could really use. The first guy is somebody who the Nets have actually been linked to, and that is DeAndre Jordan. Look, if you watch my NetsBoy videos, I don't like DeAndre Jordan. I think he's overrated. I think he's no longer overrated. He was extremely overrated back when he was with, the Clippers and all that stuff. And, he started, I have a great rant that I had way back. I doubt any of you guys have seen it because a lot of my subscribers are newer, but it was in my best of video, my 100th episode best of. Check it out if you haven't. I just went on a long rant about how DeAndre Jordan is one of the most overrated players, and I was just like, DeAndre Jordan, I want to be more involved with the offense. Well, guess what? When you're involved with the offense, that means your team's going to lose. That's what I said. And I do believe that. If DeAndre Jordan has to be an offensive player, then your team must be really crappy. So, anyway, that was an opinion of mine, and I still feel that way. But I feel like people have finally seen that DeAndre Jordan will never be an offensive player. He's just a really great rebounding and defensive center, and that's what he is. And I feel people finally realize that now. And I think that'll be a huge, huge fit for the Nets, playing either in front of or behind Jared Allen. I don't know how Kenny Atkinson will do the rotation, but if the Nets do get DeAndre Jordan, that's a rebounding, defensive, tough guy who can really help the Nets on the boards and defensively and be a veteran mentor to Jared Allen and say, hey, Jared, this is how you do it. So I was against them in the past, but under these circumstances now, I'm 100% for the Nets bringing in DeAndre Jordan and being a backup center or starting center and playing, 22 to 25 minutes a game and helping Jared Allen develop, and maybe even Nick Claxton, you never know. And maybe say, hey, this is how we do it, and help the Nets win. So DeAndre Jordan is someone else who I think the Nets should go after. And he's somebody they could get even if they got both Kyrie and KD. Piggybacking off of the centers that can help, veteran centers who can help with development of Jared Allen, why not bring back Brook Lopez? I said it earlier in the video. I love Brook Lopez. We all know that. I still have his jersey, which, complete side note. Sorry, my mind's all over the place. If Kyrie does come to the Nets, he better not wear number 11. I'm just saying that. Kyrie, be nice. Don't wear 11. Wear 1. I know that's D'Angelo Russell's number, but let's be honest, Brook Lopez is more of a all-time net than D'Angelo Russell. It's you know what I mean? It's not like they're going to retire Brook Lopez's number anytime soon, if ever, but just have a little respect to the team. I don't know if Kyrie will, because he has that mindset I'm the best player in the history of basketball. So I think it'd be who cares about Brook Lopez and the fact that he's the all-time scoring franchise leader in scoring for the Nets, and he's one of the all-time great Nets. Just please don't wear 11, Kyrie. Please take 1 or take 2. To me, 2 always seemed like a good number for Kyrie. I don't know why. I can just picture him with 2. 1 works too. Don't be 11. But anyway, sorry. Bring back Brook Lopez. Veteran, who can teach Jared Allen how to play well, maybe even Claxton. He can come off the bench if you need him to, or he could start. It doesn't really matter. Same role as DeAndre Jordan. Now, he obviously is not nearly as good of a rebounder. Solid defensive player, not as good as a defensive player, but we know about Brook Lopez and his rebounds. Just check out that song, Grab a Rebound, Brook Lopez, written like 2.5 years ago. Also NetsBoy Archives. Yeah, a lot of flashbacks in this video, or references. But anyway, but still, a really quality player who can be in the rotation and really help the Nets. And I don't know if the Bucks are going to bring him back. Most likely they will, but he's somebody else I would like to see. So Brook Lopez is another guy. Another player that I would really like the Nets to go after, and this would be if they strike out on Kevin Durant and Tobias Harris, because Tobias Harris is obviously the other guy. If the Nets don't get Kevin Durant, I want the Nets to get Tobias Harris 100%. If they don't get Tobias Harris, because he comes back to Philly or goes somewhere else, I want the Nets to get Julius Randle. I think Julius Randle is a perfect fit for what the Nets need. He's tough. He's physical, he can knock down the three-point shot, and he can just be that big body that the Nets have been lacking the last couple years. And so he's going to demand a pretty big contract. He opted out of his option with the Pelicans. Is he going to get a max contract? I don't think he's worth that. I don't think he will get that, but he's going to get a pretty high contract, maybe $20 million a year. But I would do it. If I don't get Tobias Harris, I don't get Kevin Durant, regardless of what happens with Kyrie and D'Angelo, let's bring in Julius Randle, because he will be a great fit for the Nets. And so he's someone else I like. In addition to that, not in addition to, but going in the same terms, Nikola Mirotic. He's somebody else I would love to see the Nets get if they don't get Tobias Harris or KD. I think he's another perfect fit. Another, stretch power forward, can hit the three-point shot. Not a terrible rebounder, not the most physical player, but still a really solid big. He could be on the cheaper end. He's somebody the Nets could get in addition to KD and Tobias Harris. I mean, imagine that if you had like Mirotic coming off the bench. But he's somebody. I don't know what his contract's going to be, but he's somebody else I think is a great fit for the Nets, and I would love it if they got him as well. So Mirotic, somebody else. So Julius Randle, Mirotic, those type of guys. And then the number one guy that I think the Nets should get, and this is regardless of what happens, regardless if you got D'Angelo, regardless if you got Kyrie, regardless if you got Kevin Durant or Tobias Harris or any of these guys, there's one player that this here Nets boy is going to tell the Nets that he wants them to get, and that is Vince Carter. Come on, you can't be surprised by that. NetsBoy's all-time favorite player, Vince Carter. Bring him back to Brooklyn. Forget about Toronto. They never liked him in the first place. They boo him. I mean, not anymore. Now they applaud him. But for 15 years, they booed Vince. We always loved Vince. Bring him back to the Nets where he was loved. And let him be the veteran mentor for these young guys. And be a solid wing player who can play 15 to 20 minutes a game and contribute. Let him take the DeMarre Carroll, Jared Dudley role that the Nets aren't going to have. Both those guys are gone, and I don't see them bringing them back. Let's bring in Vince Carter on a veteran minimum contract. I'm sure he'll take that. He already said he's going to play one more year and say, hey, Vince, come here, play 15 to 20 minutes a game because he wants to play. Be our Jared Dudley, our DeMarre Carroll that we had last year. Take these young guys under your wing. Take Taurean Prince, who they just got in the trade from the Hawks, so he already knows Vince. Take Karis LeVert. Take Dinwiddie. Take D'Angelo Russell if it's him. If it's not him, whatever. Don't need to take Kyrie as much. But maybe Kyrie will listen to a veteran like Vince, and Vince can say, this is how we do this, Kyrie. I know you're the champion, but this is how winners play. Because Vince is still a winner. He's not a grand winner. He's not a champion, but he's a winner. I think it's a great move. Regardless of what happens, he's that veteran voice, 15, 20 minutes, wing player, can play the power forward just like Jared Dudley did at one time. He's more of a small forward. He can play the shooting guard spot if you need him. Just a great locker room guy. Bring back Vince, Sean. Kenny Atkinson's going to like him. Sean, bring back Vince. You can get him really cheap. I'm sure of it. Let him come and play where the fans have always loved him. Oh, but NetsBoy nostalgia. Bring him back to Toronto. Like I said, they booed him for 15 years. They don't deserve Vince Carter. The Nets Always loved Vince. We always did. We always loved that man. And we always will. So bring back Vince. He's number one who I want the Nets to bring in addition to everything that happens. So anyway, there you go. Long video. I'm sure you're all excited about free agency like I am. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you think the Nets should go after? Obviously, Kevin Durant and all that stuff. Let me know if you rather have D'Angelo or Kyrie. Like I said, I'm not against either. In some ways, I'd rather have D'Angelo because he's younger and he doesn't have all the baggage and he could develop into a very good player or a great player. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to get upset with Kyrie. You can't get upset when you get Kyrie Irving. Who's going to get upset about that? Like I'm not. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you have other free agents you think the Nets should go after in addition to or instead of some of the guys I listed. And until then, keep your eyes open. My next NetsBoy episode will probably come another week or two because we'll see what happens once free agency officially starts. We'll see if Kyrie does come to the Nets. We'll see what happens with Kevin Durant. Next time we hear something big, keep your eyes open. So until then, thank you so much for being patient and sticking with me for this video. Let me know what you guys think. And this is NetsBoy, getting ready for a crazy rest of the offseason.